Excellent, thank you. So I'm the clinical director at Linton, and earlier on this year we formed a new partnership with Deca Lasers, who are a huge player worldwide in the laser market. Between us and Deca, we have over 60 years experience in the manufacture of laser systems, and I want to today show you an Alexandrite and Nd YAG laser, which I think is truly revolutionary. You'll probably be familiar that there are lots of different YAG laser, Alex laser combinations. You've got the real strong melanin affinity of 755 nanometers for treatment of fairer skins. With your 1064, you can treat darker skin types. You can treat vascular lesions, rejuvenation. But the real key thing about this particular system, the Motus AY, is that it's the first Alexandrite laser that you can use in a pain-free mode. So it's the first true Alexandrite laser that can be used in an in-motion mode so that we can deliver pain-free treatments. What we're always finding is that people want effective treatments, they want fast treatments, and they want pain-free treatments. Before, you've been able to have pain-free and fast, or effective and fast, but you've never been able to have that combination of all three before. So, yeah, the Motus, as I say, it's a true Alexandrite and Nd YAG. We can see here that doing the treatment in the in-motion mode, so we're basically using low fluencies but a very high rep rate. And what that does is that it builds up the energy in the hair follicle slowly so that you can deliver these pain-free treatments. It's incredibly quick. So to do a full back takes probably about 12 to 15 minutes. Full body we can do in 75 minutes, so very fast treatment. You can see that we divide the area up into areas of 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And we just do that. We don't have any audio from there, but we can... you hear the machine beeping and it tells you when you stop. So we just deliver a certain amount of energy into the system, move on to the next area. Just looking at some of the studies, if you can see that slide up there, some of the studies that have been done, we can see that the pain scores, we know that traditional Alexandrite lasers can be uncomfortable. Certainly the Nd YAG laser with its deeper penetration can be really quite uncomfortable for some people. With traditional passes, we're normally looking at pain scores of about 4 out of 5. With this, much lower pain scores. In fact, very little pain at all. You can feel a sensation of warm heating, and that's about it. Post-treatment, though, interestingly enough, we get very similar degrees of erythema, we get very similar follicular response, but it's very safe. It's so safe that this laser can be used on all skin types, so an Alexandrite laser that can be used on skin types 1 to 6. And we're it's the only Alexandrite laser in the world that's been FDA approved to treat up to a skin type 6. Reduction of hair is very similar with both technologies, but you can see there the key one is the patient's preference. People want pain-free treatments, and anyone who's had a laser hair removal will know that it can be a pretty uncomfortable procedure in some cases. Here's an example of a small area that was treated, and you see that perifollicular response, you can see the edema, you can see the swelling. That is a really good sign of a very effective treatment. And to get that without any pain at all is really quite remarkable. And again, as we're looking at the treatment, you can see the speed at which we can do a whole chest. I mean, if you're using traditional Alex or YAG lasers to do a full chest, you're talking about maybe at least 40 minutes or thereabouts. One of the things I really like about Deca is that they come from it from a very scientific viewpoint. They have their own histology lab. So you can see there's some histology that shows the necrosis around the hair follicle in both the traditional 755 stamping modes, but also in the pain-free mode as well. The handpiece itself is a 20mm spot. It's titanium. It's very light, very easy to use. And just some before and afters there, you can just see after 2 treatments, really nice clearance. On a skin type 6, we can do this with an Alexandrite laser. With traditional Alexandrite, you'd never dream of using it on a skin type 6. It's just far too aggressive. And the key to why it's so effective in this pain-free mode is the wavelength. So using 755 nanometers, we get optimal melanin absorption, far more than we get with, for example, some of the other pain-free diode systems that are out there. We also have these very short pulse durations, which make the treatment very effective as well. This one's quite interesting. Let me zoom in. You might be able to see that a little bit better. You can see where this treatment wasn't actually done very well, but you can see the regrowth after 5 months. You can see the strips where the hair's grown back that weren't treated. So I think that's quite, not showing the best technique, but really clear example of the sort of long-term results you can get. And this is just after one treatment as well. The nice thing about this laser is that as well as using it in pain-free mode, you can use it in the traditional Alexandrite and Nd YAG mode. So if you do want to move over to those settings, you can do that at any point. Here's another example of a back 8 weeks after, and you can see some areas where there's regrowth, but very, very little regrowth after just one treatment with the Moveo there. So if we look at the reaction there, you can see some redness. You can certainly see some perifollicular edema as well. So really nice endpoints with very little discomfort. There we go. So I'm very happy to take any questions about it if you want. Our stand is at the front there. We're D15 if anyone wants to come and see the system in action. It's got a really lovely graphical user interface, very easy to use, inbuilt database where it stores all the parameters for you. So come and have a look at it. We're happy to show it to you.
Lovely one here.
How many sessions do you need? Do you have quicker results?
We would generally say about 6 treatment sessions for hair removal. It depends on the type of hair that we're treating. Obviously, thicker, coarser hair will respond more quickly. But it's typically 6 to 8 treatments for this. You'll see results, as you can see from that, after just 1 or 2 treatments. But for long-term, permanent reduction, we'll be looking at that sort of number.
Always my first question, it looks very tolerable, doesn't it? It's not uncomfortable?
Incredibly so.
Okay.
You can feel a sensation of heat, but even that's very mild. So,
but because of the constant movement, I'm sure that makes it much more tolerable than having a point and shoot.
There's also a cool tip on that, so you've also got cooling from that actual handpiece as well.
Lovely, because I know whenever I try treatment of any sort, if it's too painful, you never want to go back, finish the course, then you don't get the results, do you?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions while we're there? Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Sam. That was terrific.
Thank you. Cheers.